the presentations. The first will be the Industrial Revolution 4.0, and then the challenge opportunities. The third will be the our president roadmap making Indonesia 4.0. The fourth will be teenager youth generation planning, or we call it GENRE, generasi berencana in bahasa. And then generation planning, the optimizations of young entrepreneur, MSME, start business, and digital business. Next. So this is a glance that we have heard about that. So the industrial revolutions. First, second, third, and now it's fourth. And what's happening for industrial revolutions? We don't know yet, because it's still fog, it's still blur between technology, biology, and also the ecosystem or the environments. Next. So here I sum up some of the challenges and opportunities for Industrial Revolution 4.0. The opportunities for Indonesia will be first, it will be superhumans. Why is that so? Because when we integrate our technology in our systems and our humans, means it will be efficient and it kind of not a superpower, but it's superhumans. Means we could have a high productivity of quality. And second, efficiency, of course. Why is that so? Because when it comes to industry, so most of the laborers will more efficient. Because of why? Because like the efficient labor, but now it's more efficient. Because we could boost economy, we could produce more and more in terms of quantities. And third, with economy, of course, it's related. The fourth, the R&D means research and development. Now, when people talking about technology, industry, and science, means it's when we increase our research and development to our people, to the human itself. Last but not least is about government and public engagement. Why? Because when the government have this system, it will more engage to the people. Why? Because they're not regulated anymore. Instead, they become facilitator for the people and also for the companies. And however, they become double-edged sword for the challenges. The first, digital labor markets. But it's only applied for the people who are undigitalized. Because why? Because it's not talking about technology, it's about the digitalizations of the people. And the information system and all actors, it will be very burden for us because it's kind of new for us. And third, the national international security. Because when we talk about science technology, means we put our data in a big data. And last but not least, social cares, because some people will not know. For example, like the rural area, the villagers, in the village. Next, the human resources qualities, and last but not least, the impact of micro and small medium enterprises, which is daya UMKM. Next, and why we talk about these two things? Why we are ready for this? Because why? Because we are young itself. I choose young generation because the young is the next futures, the next generations for the nations, and now. When we're talking about teenagers or youth or young generations, it's come from the family. So the first thing we need to talk about is family. Because family own the children, and children could be teenagers or young or even young generations. And according to data planning, is the population controls and also the permanent planning institution in Indonesia, they say that the age of teenagers is between 10 and 24, but it's not married. So if you are teenagers, if you are 21 but you are married, so you're not teenager anymore. You're not teenager, or in Indonesia you could say nggak berjaka atau perawan. So yeah, and pemuda or the young generation, the youth itself, according to the according to the EU number 40, year 2009, state that pemuda or young generations or youth is 16 under 30. So whether you are married or not is still considered as the youth. Next. And this is the number of the youth based on BPS or the National Statistic 2014, and we have a big number. We have 61, and it's almost 24.5% of the population is on 2014. However, in 2016, 15, or even now, it's more bigger and bigger. Because why? Because people develop, because people grow and grow year by year. Next. See? Teenagers and youth as the leaders. So, and then this teenager and youth will generate the future of nations. So, whether our nation will be great or not, it depends on us. If you heard about Pemuda song, Bang Pemuda Kulikan, I know that. You know that? Some lyrics say that masa yang akan datang kewajiban mula. See, that's the meaning of we, as the young generation, will become the reflection for the futures. We are now deciding what the future will like. And now, in order to have a good future of the nation, we need kind of improvement for ourselves. And I believe that the empowerments and developments are needed by the youth in order to have a good, better futures. And who will help us? Because we are not alone. We need to be partnered with someone or some people, some actors, which could be family, could be government institutions, or could be private sectors. Here, so basically I was the tourism ambassador into the Philippines, and I directly go into the people. So I see what's going on the people, because why? When we need to have policy, or we want to have kind of regulation and some solution, we don't like give some solution to them without saying nothing. We need to listen to them. What's going on with you? What you need? That's why I see that most of people in the young generation, they need something of guidance. They need to be listened. They need to be understood. And first thing first, should have entrepreneurial spirit. Why? Become innovators. They can invent something, and they have kind of making take a risk, like a big risk taker, and they are brave enough and could invent something that could be beneficial for the environment or the community. And next, from the entrepreneurial spirit, it comes to economic economy when they invent something in technology. So technology and humans is still related. So yeah, and last but not least, the improvement of human resources quality and MSME's empowerment. So basically, there's one experience that I through when I go to some of villagers in a village, they be in the tourist destinations. They sell something kind of in the tourist souvenirs, but then the one who own it and the one who sell them is the young generations, it's the youth itself. And if we optimize these people with a better way, we could make like a boost economy and we could improve their life. And related to the technology later on. Generation planning or called gateway. So these are some pictures that I made and my experience when I in Japan always say that Blusukan. So yeah, so I go there to people and see what's happening. And this is one of the role of family and also the role of kid itself. So we need to consider the current or means life skill. This is the thing that we need to consider because it's related to industrial solutions. And we have life skill, soft and hard skill, and in the end we have improvement of human resources in quality. Why? Because when we have life skill, investment skill, and solving skill, means we could have the skill to survive in this world. That last but not least is the optimization of young entrepreneur, MSME, startup, and business in digital business. So when they have the entrepreneurial spirit and also have a good life skill, they will have kind of creative economy and they become entrepreneur. And from entrepreneur, they become startup company. From startup, they become a company or firm. And next but not least, it's an international company. So from the startup company, become the big companies. This is the conclusions of the presentation today. So basically, from teenagers and youth, we need kind of help for the family and public-private collaborations. So the role of family is very important. It is the private socializations of the society. And if the family have the value to improve the young generations, they need guidance and improvement from the public and private collaborations. For example, like CSR, the community social responsibility, they could be helped by the government or the companies. And this government could not, instead of they become the regulator, they could be facilitator to private sectors. They have connection to them. So after they have this kind of actors, they will collaborate to have gamer training or other skill, problem-solving skill, entrepreneur class, and also startup and mentoring or digital literacy. Why? Because it's going to be one program which I propose, which is Human Resources Development or HRD and Human Capital Development. The Human Resources Development means toward the training and entrepreneur class, but Human Capital Development means these people are ready to do job, which is the staff mentoring and digital literacy. We invite all the young entrepreneur or the CEO, for example, like Crowley, to have mentoring of them. And our target will be the inclusiveness. We create the MSMEs, startups, young entrepreneurs, technical transformations. And in the end, it's ready for our for all. So we need to consider about technology and also the human itself. so could not be separated and not be neglected. So I'm currently working as the market analyst business development in one of a startup company, and this is the apps that we impacted. It's called Novo Learnings. So Novo is kind of applications, it's kind of digital learning, and now we are proudly present that we are having collaboration with Ristek Dikti Indonesia, Institut University Indonesia. What is Novo itself? So, yeah. So it's the last. This is Indonesian versions because we made it for Indonesian project.
Halo, selamat datang di Novo Player. Inilah tempat di mana perjalanan belajar Anda dimulai. Setelah Anda masuk di Novo Player, Anda akan langsung berada di dashboard Anda sendiri. Di sini, Anda akan dapat semua yang telah ditugaskan pada Anda. Kelas-kelas yang Anda ikuti, jalur pembelajaran pribadi, dan tugas individu. Jika Anda ingin langsung melihat lebih dalam, ketuk buka dan pilih aktivitas belajar yang Anda inginkan untuk mulai. Apakah Anda baru saja memulai suatu aktivitas, tetapi tidak dapat menyelesaikan sekaligus? Jangan khawatir, Anda dapat selalu menutup aplikasi dan melanjutkan kapanpun yang Anda inginkan. Perkembangan belajar Anda akan tersimpan. Setelah menyelesaikan suatu aktivitas, Anda dapat meninjau keyboard Anda dan mengulang kembali aktivitas tersebut. Mungkin Anda bisa mendapatkan nilai lebih tinggi. Anda dapat melihat perkembangan belajar Anda sendiri di dashboard. Anda akan dapat melihat apakah Anda memiliki tugas yang terlambat dan berapa banyak tugas yang telah Anda selesaikan. Aplikasi ini secara otomatis mengunggah hasil belajar Anda sehingga pengajar Anda dapat melacak perkembangan Anda. Jika Anda mengalami masalah, Anda dapat membuka menu dan pilih laporkan masalah atau ketuk 3 titik saat Anda berada di tengah aktivitas. Nikmati Novo Player, cara cerdas untuk belajar.
Yes, so it's digital learning applications. So, for example, we have a course of English. So we provide the English course online, so that basically students will learn digitally from the applications. So, and we have known that so many unicorns in Indonesia, even though it's from the Netherlands, but then the one that they project Indonesia to boost the national human resources itself. So basically, there is kind of application that we need to collaborate, and it's kind of the example of the things that is industrial revolutions for. So we have good applications on the platforms to develop this thing. So I want to ask all of you to more empower yourself, to know yourself, and to help people. Because if not us, who? If not now, when? Thank you very much.
I really like your topic about generation planning for the future of Indonesia and how to be use the planning for youth for the basic Indonesia Revolution 4.0. Now we will have a little bit change for the session, so we will have a presentation from all the presenters, and then we will have the discussion just like the previous version. So please take a seat. And now I invite the second presenter, Muhammad Iqbal. We will talk about something related to agriculture, about phenomics. And yeah, the floor is yours, Iqbal.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Now I will speak, I will share about my, this is basically my research in my thesis. So I will try my best to explain it in very general language to you because I'm sure that not all of you are studying agriculture or biology. So this is about phenomics. I think this is the first time you hear this word, and I will try to relate this how this can improve the quality of agricultural research in Indonesia. Okay, first I will start with this data. So we all know that the agriculture is now it's very important, especially in Indonesia. We are an agricultural country. Many people are working in agriculture, and especially all of us need foods, aren't we? Yes. Okay, and then there's a problem. So even though now we have a sufficient amount of food today, this is the result of what's called a green revolution in the early 1960s and 1970s. So the introduction of superior cultivars and also some technologies like irrigation, pesticides, and and so on. However, this increasing trend is now slowing down in the recent years, especially in the major food-producing countries like Indonesia, China, or India. And also we know the fact in our surroundings in Indonesia that there are many rice fields has been converted to residential areas, to manufactories. And then there will be also issues with water scarcity and then fertilizer scarcity. And even in terms of labor, very few young people today want to work in agriculture. Yeah, so the farmers now are mainly dominated by the older generations. And then in terms of my subject in plant breeding, it is found that the genetic capacity of or genetic potential of the crops has been reaching its maximum point. What that means is that we cannot breed for higher yielding varieties like now it's ER64 if you know, and then Ciherang. Maybe some of you know it, so it's about 6 tons per hectare. And then it's very hard to move to 7 or even more. And so if we don't do anything about this, it is predicted that in 2050, where the world population is 9 to 10 billion people, and Indonesia is about more than 300, I guess. Yeah, more than 300 million people. Yeah, 250. No, in 2050. Yeah, it's more than 300 million estimated. Yeah, so there will be a catastrophe in terms of food availability. Next. And then it's quite hard to find the literature about agriculture 4.0 because the industry the revolution in agriculture started in the Green Revolution. I don't know whether it should be agriculture 3.0 or 4.0, but because this is the theme of today is industrial revolution 4.0. Let's call it agriculture 4.0 to say. And then there are many aspects. I'm not sure that you are familiar with some of this. So, for example, like hydroponics, I think you know it. Yeah. Hydroponics or maybe vertical or urban farming, yeah, especially if you live in big cities like Jakarta or Surabaya, it's a good example for it. Or the drone technology and precision agriculture. It's some of our effort to improve the agricultural production in the coming years. But the main problem of the research for these activities is that we need to observe the plants, the phenotype of the plants, and then if we can you so the plant phenotypes is what we see from the plants. So either the color, the yield, or everything that we can measure. So this is a good, maybe a very general example why the phenotyping is very important. The precise phenotyping. So maybe who know what is this? Studying agriculture.
That's right.
That's right. So what they are doing here?
they are measuring the, I'm not sure, tape or I don't know.
I think yield per meter square.
Yeah, exactly. So this is called ubinan. So from the Japanese word ubin, so the rectangle. So they are measuring. So they are taking samples of the yield of the rice. So why this is? So what they do next is they will extrapolate the data. So they will say that the yield from this sample is, yeah, let's say several hundred of grams, and they will extrapolate the data for the whole yield. And what happens is that this in some places this also used to estimate the rice yield for the whole village. And then so maybe you heard that the production data for rice is never very accurate. So you say that so for example, like the Department of Agriculture say that we produce several million tons of rice, while the Department of the Statistic Office say several tons, and then yeah, so many conflicts in terms of agricultural data. So so that's why so that's why we need some platform to accurately measure what our agricultural yield is. And then this is phenomics. So maybe some of you, very some person here, I guess that you know about genomics. So that's everything about the gene. Yeah, I will not explain further. And then for phenomics, this is a way to speed up the phenotyping using the imaging process and then the high computing systems. So our aim is to sample as many plants as possible with a high accuracy. And then next. So there are some examples. So this is some levels of phenomics. So starting from very small molecules, for example, like what kinds of molecules that the plant is producing, and then from the cells, in the cellular and organ levels. So using MRI and X-ray, you might be familiar with this in the medicine world. And then the next two with the plants and canopy, these two are developed by the Wageningen University. So first, the Phenovator is how to measure the whole plants, and even for the using drone technology to measure the whole field. And then here, what I use in my thesis is the Phenovator. Next. So this is more or less my thesis. Yeah. Okay. So this is so on the left this is the Phenovator. So that's a table basically where you can plant 1,440 plants, and then you can measure them at the same time. So the idea is that you need to measure the whole plants as fast as possible and as many as possible. So when I set up this this platform, measure my plants 6 times a day, so two times at night and then 4 times in the day. So I just So after I set up the whole plans, I went 3 weeks for vacation. I got my data. Yeah, so this works 4 times, 7 for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So yeah, and then there are 3 types of data that I got. The first is the left one is the photosynthesis efficiency. So it's a fraction of energy received by the plants that is actually used for driving the whole process. And then the spectral, it's for measuring the chlorophyll. And then near infrared is to measure the size of the plant. And then this process is fully automated. So I got the data for 3 weeks. It took 100 gigabytes, so very big data. And then the result is in the right. So the first one is the circadian rhythm in the plants in photosynthesis. So maybe because we are changing the clock today, so maybe some of you wake up earlier. Yeah, I guess. And then that's called biological clock. So you always do the same thing and the same day, and there are some biological process is working in the same rhythm every day in your body, and that's also working on the plants. The relevance of this is which time is the best time for applying fertilizer, or which time is the best for applying some pesticides or plant hormone, and that's something that we are missing in our agriculture today. And then in the bottom is about the identification of genes through QTL analysis. I will not explain what is it, but in this way you can detect which genes that actually related to your for something that you are looking for example yield or something else, and then in this way we can set up a breeding program in which we can get superior varieties by crossing some plants that are available in Indonesia. Next, so that's this is my last slide. So this is some my recommendations for Indonesia is that we need to invest in this technology. Because we are not really lagging behind in this technology. Because what you saw in the previous slide is the only facilities in the world. So the Wageningen University has one, and my supervisor said nobody in this world is working on that, that subject. So we are not really late to set up this. And then, especially in rice, it's very extremely economically, politically important plants in Indonesia. Yeah, we need to invest at least for rice, or maybe palm oil. no, that's only for companies, but for government they need to at least for rice. Okay, and then the access for all research institutes or universities in this system, and this means that this shouldn't be limited to one university or one institute. So all institutes or universities in Indonesia should have access to this. So because the idea was from the innovator, it's funded by the European Union, and everyone in Europe can use it. So that's why I can give the picture to you. So it's not a secret one. And then encourage more molecular-based research because we are working in big data in plant phenotypes. That's also mean we need also to encourage more research about the plant genome and everything about molecular, because that's something that we are really lagging behind from it, and we can do many research and many products from incorporating those two. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Iqbal, for the nice presentation. I hope most of you understand what you talk. I don't know if you can ask Iqbal after the session over. So now, the last presenter is not. So you'll talk about data data. I hope this topic will be much more easier to absorb. Are you ready, Isna? Okay. The floor is yours. Wherever you are.
Hello everyone. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Isna Hidayah. I'm a student in Economic Development Group. After I'm so confused and also interested with the so scientific presentation from my friend Iqbal, that we will go to the really social journey, which I want to tell you about how Village Fund working together with Making Indonesia 4.0, Does It Matter? let's figure it out together. But the point is, it's not like a scientific-based research result, but it's like a scenario, short and sweet scenario that we can consider maybe in the next future for us, how Dana Desa or Village Fund will work to develop the society. Next. Okay, the outline today is kind of in the class because my lecture always give the outline. This is the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and how it's adapted to be the Making Indonesia 4.0. Then we also talk about how Indonesia right now and how's the prediction in the future. And then we know the threats and opportunities, and the last one is the conclusion. Next. Yeah, we can read by ourselves about the definition of Revolution Industry 4.0. Even the Tim Cook, the CEO from the Apple, he believes that it is more important to learn about coding than to learn about the English. Why? Because nowadays everything is related with information technology. This analogy shows us how important in the information technology, working with industries to boost the income, to give prosperity to the people and something like that. Next. Yeah, we can see the Revolution Industry 4.0 has arrived in Indonesia. The data shows, this is scientifically data. Even you know that like the internet user is like increased 7 million people in 1 year, in 2014 until 2015. Another data you can read by yourself. Next. Okay, maybe some of you have been know about this, Making Indonesia 4.0. The government, the Ministry of Industry, tried to bring the Revolution Industry 4.0 to Indonesian context because we need to adapt a lot of things. We have different needs, we have different background of historical things with another country. Then the government make a roadmap, it's named the Making Indonesia 4.0, and they still work on it. And this is initiated by the Ministry of Industry, and also it is implemented by the KINAS, the Committee of National Industry in Indonesia. Next, please. Okay. What's the goal? The goal is really ambitious for me, especially, subjectively, because the government would like to make Indonesia as the top 10 big country, the best country with the highest GDP rank in the global rank. Nowadays, 2016, we are still in the 16th rank, but they would like to make it as the best top 10 in 2013. Whether or not this is ambitious, just let's see what's going on today and in the future, because they still work on it. Yeah, potential economy. It's really interesting because actually Indonesia has really great potential in economy, even though McKinsey Institute predicted that Indonesia will be the 7th best economy in the world in 2019, and also based on the Pricewaterhouse research, predicted that Indonesia would be the 4th best economy in the world. It's kind of like, okay, Indonesia has a lot of good chance in the future if we can manage all of the opportunities that we have. If you have questions, actually, what is the GDP itself and what's contributed inside of the GDP? GDP is national income. It has by every country, especially Indonesia. And more than 60% contributed by the small medium enterprises. In Indonesia, we call it as UMKM. We have a lot of things like that, and it contributes significantly to our economy of our national income. Here I mentioned about the food, culinary, and also the fashion. Why? The answer is because Indonesia has 5 sectors that focus on the Making Indonesia 4.0. We have textile, we have automotive, we have like chemical things, but that related or relevant with the small medium enterprises development is about the food and also the fashion itself. Yeah, but it's not obstacle free. We still have a lot of chance to solve. And we have a lot of threats to solve. We have a lot of problems here. Especially that really related and relevant with the small medium enterprises development is about the low productivity. That's why the government should looking for the best solution to know how they can contribute the project, how they can find the market to the product. That's why The IT is really important to make them as the e-commerce, to provide them a platform to sell the small, medium enterprise product itself. And the second point is about the technology, because we need to make really suitable technology with the small, medium enterprises. It's totally different with the big industries, because we really have to make it quite specific and really solve the problem in each small, medium enterprises. And it's become one of the 10 national priority from the government in the roadmap. Next. About the internet. Maybe every one of you have internet connection, or maybe even one person have 2 or 3 handphone. Maybe we don't know about that, because it's like shows a lot of people use internet nowadays. This is the penetration of internet growth in Indonesia. And this is like the user in the rural area. That's why more than 48% it's become the really good starting point for the government to develop the Indonesian society, especially in the rural area. Let's go to the village fund. This is the program of the government, because the government really wants to make the village not only as the object, but also as the subject. They can know their potential, they can develop their own self, they can get the profit for their own self, so they no longer as the object, but they can do it by themselves. Next. And this is the funding that they give to the village. The government gives the funding up to 1 million, and it's like 1 million each village. And I also know the village fund also implemented in Thailand, but this is in a kind of different concept, because they give the credit, but now in our country it's kind of cash transfer directly to the each village. Next. Okay, we have to know what was the 4 priority programs, and you can see this is in Indonesian, but maybe interesting to see.
Jangan takut Pak Eko. Pemerintah dan Kementerian Desa, pembangunan daerah ketiga, dan transmigrasi punya senjata ampuh untuk menyelamatkan desa. Menerima ini. Bukan. Bukan. Menyelamatkan desa. Iya. Bukan. Milik desa. Kamu menunggu. Ayo kerja. Tapi produktif. Bangun saudara. Warga sehat. Desa kuat. Ayo, dukung program prioritas percepatan pembangunan desa. Desa yang maju, negara ikut maju. Siap maju?
I think this is kind of silly video, but I love it. Anyway, Pak Eko is the Ministry of Desa, the Ministry of Village. Okay. And then I was thinking, like, are we utopists or this is optimistic? Are we have daydreaming and then maybe we'll be so rich because of the Pak Eko coming and they solve anything? The answer is it depends on us. It depends on how we work now, how the government work now, how they work with the other stakeholders now. So the answer is, yeah, we will see in the next future. 2 relevant programs. Even though we have 4 programs, but only 2 programs that relevant to the Making Indonesia 4.0. What is that? The first one is Prukades and the second one is Desa. Okay. We have threats and opportunities. It's kind of like when we can solve this problem, it will be the opportunities, but when we cannot solve this problem, it just be the disaster for the government. What is that? This is the human resource readiness. Because the people in the village really different with the people in the urban area. They still need to be develop their skill, we need to develop their management things and so on. It's related with 2 important things. The first one is about the internet penetration and the second one is about the financial literacy. What is the financial literacy? It's the knowledge about how they can use the internet to the banking, how they can use the internet to saving their money, to invest. They can use them, how they they will use their money when they have a lot of money. So it's really important, crucial things to do. Maybe some of you have questions. What is Prukades? Prukades is kind of the priority program where the government would like to solve the lack of the market, the low quality things, how they can get more capital. And it's really relevant with how they can really empower the use of internet, the internet penetration, because of India they can use e-commerce to develop their market and also make it easier to achieve to reach the customer. Next. Bumdesa. What is Bumdesa? This is institutional economics which provides institutional economics. In this kind of organization, we can get money, we can get capital, we can get finance, and something like that. That's why the Bumdesa also can provide the financial literacy to people in the village. For sure, it's to develop the small medium enterprises from the rural area. Therefore, we still have really low financial literacy. Why is that so? You can see from the graph that people mostly use their internet connection or use their internet penetration to chat or for chatting. It's like more than 80%. And only 7% is used for the banking things. And you can see the graph in the below. It's just like the owner of the banking account. It's still under 60% for people in the urban or rural area. But by integrating four things, which is the Prukades, Bumdesa, and then also internet penetration and financial literacy, we can make it more manageable and also more integrated. So we have to work with another stakeholder hand in hand together. Yeah, and this is the conclusion. To face the pollution industry 4.0, which is really Indonesian context, and we call it as making Indonesia 4.0, we can develop the human resource, we can give the skill to the human resource for them to be ready to face the making Indonesia 4.0, especially in terms of the use of internet and also the financial literacy. It can be done by working with the Bumdesa and Prukades to achieve the economic growth through the UMKM, and hopefully we can achieve to be the best top 10 economy in the world based on the GDP rank. Good luck for Indonesia, and thank you very much.
By the way, can you sit here? Now I want to invite all the three speakers, and we'll have a discussion. What a very diverse topic, guys. Start from the preparing young generation, and then talk about phenomena, and now Lisa. Now this session, I will open for 3 questions. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can do the next session. Okay, first, can someone help me to pass the microphone to the... Can you briefly introduce yourself and then your question?
Thank you very much for the time for me. Yeah. I'm Dita. I'm studying aquaculture in Wagner. My question is to Muhammad Iqbal. Okay, you say that the only operators that really fancy is only Wagner, right? Suppose if it's already in Indonesia, for example, how would you introduce that kind of machine to the farmers with maybe a low basic of knowledge to operate that type of exemption? And how would you implement that in Indonesia as developing countries? And my second question is, if you say that the infrared is functioning as the something for detecting the phenotype of the plants, yeah? Is there any specific effect to the plant? I mean, like to the cell wall or to the, let's say, to the tissue of the plants. That's all for my questions. Thank you.
Thank you for the time. My name is Iqbal. I'm from biotechnology student. First, I have questions from to Mbak Isna related to the village funds and how it can be used for boosting the economy in the village. As far as I see, there is some village who are already able to manage to use the fund efficiently and they can boost the economy, but most of the village still not being able to do that. One of the factors that I see is because they invest the money not for program or the things that can improve the economy, but mostly for infrastructure, which is not really correlated to the economy development. For example, building solar and the other things. I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying that if the money is not used for the program which can develop their economy, so still, even though you build 100 musola in the village, you will still be in a platform economy. So how would you, I don't know, how would you try to maybe change the paradigm or the stigma that the money should be used for something which is more useful rather than building that's another not necessarily thing. Yeah, that's the first question. Second question I want to ask to Iqbal. From Iqbal to Iqbal. This is phenotyping is very interesting, especially related to plant breeding. But who would you especially encourage actors in Indonesia to apply the system? Because I'm sure it's not local farmers. It must go to either breeding company or government. But if this go to breeding company, let's say in Indonesia, we have big players like Monsanto's, East West, and the others, which basically they don't really need it to be applied in Indonesia. They can use it in the headquarters, for example, Monsanto in US, and they breed Ciherang and EM64 there, and just send the seeds in Indonesia. So why they or this company, this big company should bring the film to Indonesia? If it is for local breeding company, for example, Benih, for example, I'm not sure that they can afford this film because it's very expensive. And yeah, if it is for government, how to convince the government to invest in this film because especially when we see that the research in Indonesia is still quite far left from the research in this developed country. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon everyone. My name is Rahma and I'm studying Master of Science in Food Safety, specifically in the toxicological aspect. And from all of your presentation, it's such a new knowledge and insight for me, especially from the natural science that exposed to the social science generally. So I'm going to ask for those three speakers. For the first one is for Isna about the villages funds. In your presentation, you mentioned about the government gave the funds to the more than 1 million villages in Indonesia. And what is the characteristic for each village to receive those funds, and would it be continuously program or not? And for the speaker speaker three, that is Iqbal, you said that the application of the phenomics can only be applied for the commodities that economically important horticultural plants, right? And would it be economically important nationally or locally? And why is that so? And for the first speaker, Danali, right? Yes. Actually, this is the new knowledge for me. But what I understand so far is your idea would it be only suitable for those who want to build startup or
Everything.
anything? And if that's so, how the application for the one who want to focus in the research field, like in the research institute or something like that? Okay. And one question again for Danavi. I think that's only simple question about in the first slide you give some timeline about the industrial revolution for 1.0 to 4.0, right? And you put different icon. And in the industrial revolution 4.0 you put the brain. And why is that so?
The brain.
Yeah, the brain. I think you're gonna give us some message about why you put some icon. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's for the first session. Who wants to answer first? Okay.
Thank you very much for the questions. And Miss Rahma. So I would like to, I'm like here, I'd like not to answer the question, instead respond to the questions, because yeah, answering is yes or no, wrong or right, but response means we share the ideas. So basically, first question that I would like to respond is about the brain, the message of the brain itself. As I have mentioned in my presentations, digital ecosystem require digital mindset. That's mindset, it will be constructed in our mind, in our brain. Therefore, when we change our mindset into digital mindset, means we are ready to become and to compete and even to evolve in digital ecosystems. That's the first. The second, why it should be brain? Because all the peoples, all human beings, even like animals, are operating themselves, are leading themselves because of the brain. Because they core ideas, the core thinking. When they would like to eat, they use their hand, their mind, their brain. When they would like to even have something, they need to think, right? Even there's left and right brain, and it's different functions and such. And if you learn about biology in neurological something like that in genes, still the brain itself controls everything. When we reach, and it will relate to the third response, which is the brain will be related to the core problems. So when we have kind of the root problems, when we take it, means we solve the problems until the roots. If we know that digital ecosystem require digital mindset, means we need to find the core of them, and the core is our mindset. So our mindset is constructed by, first could be conservative, second could be knowing anything. They don't know everything, and third they're not willing to be digitalized by people, by environments, by the system itself. Therefore, I choose the brain itself. So yeah, and the second questions regarding is it applicable to all sectors that I've mentioned. So basically, I do believe from small things into big things. When we put effort in small things, we could make this small thing into big things. Why I took one example, which is startup, because mostly from entrepreneur, they will invent and doing business, right? Some of them, mostly, but they're not. They're not the fact that they could not do in another sector, which are research and development. Because from entrepreneurial spirit, they have the risk taker, innovations. And when we talk about research and development, they invent something, they innovate something, means they need kind of this entrepreneurial spirit not only because of the economy, but of course because of the adaptive skill, problem-solving skill that are contained and lies into entrepreneurial spirits. So, for example, I mentioned before, from entrepreneurial spirit into entrepreneur into startups, into company into firms, and from into multinational companies. Means from it's gradually change increase. And it could be applied in research development. When they have this kind of mindset, they digitalize their mindset, they have this kind of constructions of mindset. So when they have willingness to invent something, which is the economic creative economy, so they will invent something in research development. It will be a small thing that they invent. For example, like Gojek, Gojek only had Go bike at first, but then they will invent something again, Go makeup, Go glance, and then Go message, and Go something like that. And it's the real story from my friends, serious economic students. My partner, her name is Siva, and she became the founder of Makeup Beauty of applications. This application for beauty is not about the beautiful of ourselves, but it's about the well-being. It's about not only skincare, but everything from head to toe. And it's not about the economy, of course, it's about technology, and also it's about the daily lifestyle. And they invent, for example, the application itself is not from the oneself. It's not only from the economy students, but also they acquire the IT students. And these IT students try to help them to make applications. So these are related and not to the security. So it could be applicable, for example, at once, from small until big.
Actually, you already gave the explanation about kind of IT or building a startup or something like that. And my question was about how to implement in the research, the one who gonna focus on the research field. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot that is. So basically, I propose the startup mentoring things, right? It's part of the HRD and NCD, the Human Resource Development and Human Capital Development. So for those of you who like to focus on science, we can say that research development mentoring means we invite all the researchers around Indonesia or even experts. They could be work with us in collaboration by doing private-public collaborations. And these programs are related and we will complete it. Why I choose this mentoring, because it's about this at first. But then it could be applied if you want to research development. So we can invite the research experts to mentor them. And it will be same scheme toward the staff mentoring. So I think that's all. Thank you. Yeah. You first or Iqbal? Okay, well.
Okay, thank you for the questions. So I will try to answer the questions. Yeah, because the questions are very, very technical, very, social and related to policy. So it's well, I'm only studying about the very technical operational things of this. So I'm not sure that my answer will satisfy you, but I will try. So for the first question from Dita, so whether it will be, can it be used by the farmers? I'm not sure, but I doubt it, because it's very expensive. So for example, like in the university farm here, if you want to rent the one compartment there, you need to spend about at least 10,000 euro for a year for a room that is smaller than your student housing. So I'm really sure that this is only for research purpose, but for the farmers, I think they can this technology can apply for a big scale with the coordination from the government. For example, like in the rice field by using the drone technology or something like that. And then for the question from Iqbal. Another Iqbal.
Iqbal 2.0.
Okay, so your request, so what was your question? so do you remember?
Yeah, so we have some players in Indonesia like Santos.
Oh yeah.
And why they bring Indonesia in their own headquarters.
Okay, so that's very, so if I was the company, I will also I will do that, because it's much cheaper than building the facilities here in Indonesia. But that's actually depending on what kind of Phenomics technology that you are going to use. If it's if the environment for the Vietnamese can be fully controlled, like what I did in my thesis, so it's better to build it here. But if if you cannot control the environment, like in the drone technology, it's better to build it, to set up it in Indonesia, because the environment in Indonesia is very different from the headquarters of those big players in agriculture. So yeah, I think, and also I think the government should develop by itself. So not only importing from the European countries. Yeah, because it's the experience from my friend who was using this compartment. So there was something wrong with the software and then the camera. And because the camera was imported from Czechoslovakia, yes. So it's very difficult to call the companies who are manufacturing it. So it's better to build your own, and then if there is problem, you can solve it by yourself very quickly. And then for Rahma, and then for the last question, I think that's. For the economically important crop, it refers to if it's possible, I will do it for all crops if that's possible. But of course, we have some priorities. So in my opinion, the first priority should go to rice. Yeah, it's very important economically and politically. And then for the horticultural crops, I would say that the chili and then onion. It's we should start doing some basic research on it. But for other crops, I think for other horticultural crops, it might be possible. For example, like in tomato, and then in Brassicaceae family. Yeah, it's. I will do that, but they are less important in terms of their economical value. It's
And then last.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question from Mas Iqbal. Not you, but so basically the answer is quite simple, but the explanation is quite long, but I'll make it short. The answer is, you talk about why all of the village mostly build the infrastructure like mosque and then road and something like that. Even Gapura, what is that? The gate in the village. The answer is enforcement of the law, because the government still develop and still keep developing the law itself. It's just like 4 years now. The program started in 2014 and still working now. So the improvement and evaluation is working until nowadays. The government give limitation, how many percent that can use for infrastructure and how many percent for other things. So the law enforcement is really important. And also the program that related to the economic, sorry, I'm not comfortable with this. Okay, so another program is Bumdesa, for example. Indonesia now have like more than 32,000 Bumdesa, but only like 10,000 that give profit to the government. Why they have a lot of Bumdesa? Because you will not get the money from the government if you don't have Bumdesa in your village. So that kind of things happen. What I have explained to you is just like the cover of Village Fund program. Still a lot of things to do, and homework is still a lot. So the answer is the enforcement of the law. And for the Rahma, what is the requirement to get the village fund? So you have to be village. If you are kelurahan, we cannot get those money because it's still be debatable about this money. They're not kelurahan 2019. It still be debatable, but from the government. And then why every village get different kind of money? The amount is so totally different because the rule from the government is 90% is like the default money. So every village get the same money. But for the 10%, it's depend on the poverty rate and then the area, how wide the area, and also the geographical condition. Hopefully it can answer your question. Thank you very much.
Okay.
you for the speaker and the explanation. But sadly, we don't have any time for further discussion. So any of you that wants to ask about related about the topic, you can talk with them after this event. So after this, we will have we will do a voting for two of you guys to choose the best presenter. But before we do that, let's give up one more applause for all the speakers. I'm highly worried. Can you guys go outside? No, you should go outside. And then we will call you guys again maybe 10 minutes so that I to do the voting. So meanwhile, I need help. So we're going to do a voting. Okay, so we'll do voting. And we'll get a piece